This is ESPN, the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network.
From Lincoln, Nebraska, it's the Cornhuskers of the University of Nebraska playing host to the Hawkeyes of the University of Iowa. Brought to you by Michelin, the company that introduced the radial tire to America. Hi, everyone. I'm Roger Twyville. Thanks for joining us on our pregame show. Iowa and Nebraska, the fourth consecutive year. These two rivals have met. Of course, University of Nebraska out of the Big 8, Iowa out of the Big 10. And I guess it was a sign of good things last year for Hayden Fry and the University of Iowa when they upset the University of Nebraska by a score of 10-7. Iowa went on to win the Big 10, and they went to the Rose Bowl. Meanwhile, Nebraska had a pretty good year themselves. 9-3, an appearance in the Orange Bowl, lost to national champion Clemson, but this just might be the year for the Cornhuskers. Let's go out to Lincoln, Nebraska right now. Jim Simpson and Bud Wilkinson.
A little case of deja vu for me. The first game I ever did for ESPN was Iowa-Nebraska, won in the last 5 minutes by Nebraska. A year later here in Lincoln, Nebraska blew them out 57-0. We all know what happened last year, 10-7 Iowa. They went on to the Rose Bowl. This is the fourth and final game of the foreseeable future for Iowa-Nebraska. I've checked, Bud, the schedules all the way through 1990. They don't play each other again.
It's a shame that they don't, because the rivalry, particularly after last year, has become increasingly difficult, keen, and enjoyable with the two neighboring states. Iowa's have a totally rebuilt team. They only have 6 starters back from last year. Nebraska, I think, Jim, maybe is a team that will be in strong consideration for the national championship by the end of the year. They've only got one problem. Their 4 defensive backs have not played much, but their offensive line, offensive backs, defensive line, defensive linebackers, it's a veteran outfit.
You know, we're sitting among the Nebraska folks here, and I got to say they're number 3 in the nation. They think they should be number 1, and the season for them hasn't even started yet.
Well, I agree with you that they always feel they're number 1.
Back to Lincoln, Nebraska in a moment.
The University of Iowa, the University of Nebraska should be an outstanding football game. Let's talk about some of the personnel involved. When you talk about offense on football teams, you usually talk about a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, maybe a tackle. But a center, yes, a center. That is the case with the University of Nebraska, and they have got an outstanding center, and we'll see. When you see him, you'll know why. His name is Dave Remington. He was the Outland Trophy winner as a junior, number 50. Big, strong center, and he keys the offense. Now, behind him will be a quarterback. Turner Gill's his name. He started 6 games. Last year, 9 TD passes, 3 running, 882 total yards, and Nebraska won all 6 of those. Running backs, Roger Craig, 1,060 yards. He's a big back. He weighs 220 pounds. In the same backfield, Mike Rozier, who rushed for 975. Here's Tom Osborne.
In the first game, Bud, you always are guessing a little bit more because you don't know for sure what Iowa's going to do. They've had more time to prepare than any other game during the year. We are going to play both Roger Craig and Mike Rozier in the backfield at the same time part of the time. Roger's going to play both I-back and fullback. We're going to try to throw the ball a little bit more than we did last year. I think Turner Gill's a great passer. We've got some fine receivers. And defensively, we'll play fairly conservatively most of the time. We probably won't gamble a lot, but, you know, if you're having trouble, then you're going to have to blitz more. So we'll be pretty much the same as we were last year. Just feel them out and see how we do.
Dr. Tom Osborne, the Nebraska head coach, talking to our Bud Wilkinson in Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll be back with more of the pregame show right after this. Mentioned that their center, Dave Remington, was one of their big weapons. We talk about the University of Iowa offense. We're going to talk about their punter. He is a tremendous weapon. His name is Reggie Roby. And folks, when I tell you that he averaged 49.8 yards per punt last year, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying at all. That's a good offensive and defensive threat for Hayden Fry and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, defensively for the Hawkeyes, their captain, the senior, he's a defensive tackle, and his name is Mark Bortz. He was a great one as a junior last year. He'll probably see a lot of double teams this year. Hayden Fry talked to Bud Wilkinson about the University of Nebraska.
they've got everything. The big linemen, the experience, the people have been playing, some of them 5-year seniors. Great skilled people in Turner Gill. Jamie Williams at tight end is preseason All-American. And then 2 backs in the backfield, very similar to the ones you had at Oklahoma. But I'm sure you'll be the first to admit these guys are larger than the ones you had at Oklahoma.
They're much.
Roger Craig at 220. I don't know that you really had one that big, but you had the great speed and execution, and they have the great speed, execution, and power.
Hayden Fry, a veteran of the coaching wars, kind of reborn at the University of Iowa, was at SMU for many years, then got things turned around at North Texas State, at Iowa 3 years, 17-17, but he got him to the Rose Bowl last year. His 20 years in college football, 106, 104, and 4. Meanwhile, Dr. Tom Osborne, who took over for Bob Devaney at the University of Nebraska, has known nothing but success, has been in the top 10 all of his years, 84, 23, and 2. Big 8 coach of the year, 75, 78, and 80. So those are the 2 coaches, their records, and how they're doing. And we're going to be back with more on this pregame show right after this. Series with the University of Iowa, 23, 12, and 3. Last year's score, Iowa in an upset, 10-7 over the University of Nebraska, and it should be a good grudge match in Lincoln, Nebraska. Out to call the game, Jim Simpson and Bud Wilkinson. Let's move on out to Lincoln, Nebraska now for all the play-by-play action. The University of Iowa and the University of Nebraska. The Big 10 meets the Big 8. I'm Roger Twibell. Thanks for joining us.
In Nebraska, Iowa, which upset Nebraska last year. Both teams in bowl games, Iowa in the Rose Bowl, Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. And today they open their seasons against one another. Large crowd, as always, in red. Hayden Fry, Coach of the Year last year on your left. Tom Osborne, very successful in his years at Nebraska on your right. And this ball game is underway. Iowa won the toss but took the wind. And Roby's kick goes into the end zone, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Nebraska. Now, Nebraska today could use several different backfields, but we'll give you the one we expect to start. Turner Gill, well again with that leg problem at quarterback. Craig and Rozier, both high backs, are playing today in the backfield together, with Craig taking the fullback spot. Fryer a wing back. Brown a wing back. Williams a tight end. Tice, Mandelko, Remington, the All-American Steinfeld, and Paul Pick the offensive line. First down from the 20. Roger Craig with the ball and about 5 yards. Second down and 5 to go. Defensively, Joseph Bortz. What an outstanding game he had against Nebraska last year. Brown, the middle guard. Uhlenhake at tackle, and Strobel, the right end. Linebackers, Erb and Spitzig. And the secondary, Hunter, Stoops, Hawley, and Mitchell. 2nd and 5. The temperature, 84 degrees. We told you Iowa took the wind. It is 15 miles per hour from the south. At the back of Iowa now. Nebraska moving into the teeth of this wind. Here's Rozier with this one shell. In trouble in a yard or 2. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 27-yard line. You can see Dave Brown up top, and getting up from the bottom, number 41, the strong safety, Bobby Stoops. So they put both Craig and Rozier in the same backfield, Bud. Each has had his chance.
Their 5-man line rarely plays basically with the nose man on the center and the other men playing over the tackles. Usually they offset it a half a man or two. That time they offset it to the right of the screen as we look at Rozier's stats, and they guessed correctly.
Todd Brown comes wide to the right, Fryer to the left. And now Fryer in motion. There's going to be a motion play called, I believe, against Rozier, who was in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Whistle blew, so it'll be 3rd down and 8 instead of 3rd and 3.
And those are the little mistakes that you hope you will avoid in an opening game. You rarely do.
We saw the referee. That's John McClintock. The umpire today is Edward Hassel. Ron Demery, the head linesman. Line judge Bernie Kukar. Field judge Jerry Kleinsmith. And Tom Herbert is the back judge. Capacity crowd, but when wasn't it? 119 consecutive capacity crowds for this stadium here at Lincoln, Nebraska. And yes, that is an NCAA record.
Nebraska is basically an I formation offensive team, but rarely are they in the straight up high. Usually they offset a back or two or put somebody in motion. Makes it difficult to defense.
Now they got Brown and Fryer both wide to the right. 4-man line at the moment for Nebraska. Turner Gill back for his first throw this year. And that is his man Fryer coming out of the backfield. He's got the first down across the 40-yard line. Out to the 50-yard line. Irving Fryer, who has 4.36 speed, and Turner Gill is 1 for 1.
It's a sure passing down. There's a little bit of a draw fake. Gill has marvelous protection. Pryor just on a straight crossing pattern. The linebackers were a little too deep. He caught the ball in front of him, then got some excellent downfield blocking to pick up the first down.
And you can see Ron Hawley, the junior safety out of West Covina, California, make the stop. Midfield, 3rd and 8 play, takes them to first down at midfield. This is Rozier. Rozier for 5 yards down to the 45-yard line. Tom Osborne looking on. In the middle there again was Dave Brown, the nose guard. Mitch Crank has now come in, and Jamie Williams, the tight end, has gone out. Crank's number is 89. His back is to you.
Tom Osborne told me that they expect to throw the ball more this year. However, they didn't on that first series, so it was the obvious pass down, 3rd and long.
Give him only 4 yards on that first down play. 2nd down, 6 from the 46. Here's Turner Gill. Pitch out to Rozier. Rozier has got one man there, and Hawley makes the stop. Ron Hawley makes a second saving tackle, but they've crossed the 40. Another first down for the Big Red of Nebraska.
Turner Gill is a marvelous athlete, great baseball player. Had the unfortunate nerve injury to his leg last year. Missed the last 3 games in the bowl game, but he's completely well now, and they think playing better than ever.
Hayden Fry, coach of the year, as we said. Roger Craig and Mike Rozier in the same backfield combined last year, gained more than 2,000 yards carrying the ball. First time we've seen this set, and that is Craig playing the fullback spot, bounding inside the 35-yard line to about the 33, and is piled up in the middle there.
Very interesting in that set for Craig and Rozier blocking for each other as we watch number 50, the All-American center for Nebraska, Dave Remington, who was everybody's All-American last year, Outland Trophy winner. He's also an academic All-American. Great football player, great student.
James Erb, the linebacker, senior out of Wellman, Iowa, made the stop. 2nd down and 5. Now we have Wilkening in the backfield along with Craig. Rozier's out. They're looking for Craig out here, and Craig gets a good block, steps inside the 30-yard line, and is finally run down again by James Erb. First down, Nebraska, inside the 25. They'll mark it at the 24.
And Turner Gill impresses you with his poise, with his quickness.
Jamie Williams and Mitch Crank are alternating at tight end. Tom Osborne and or his staff sending in plays. This one sends Todd Brown out far to the left, and Fryer, who's already caught a first down pass today, wide to the right. Wilkening the fullback as Craig steps back to the I-back spot. And this is Craig. Craig holds inside the 15-yard line. There's a hat, and it might just be a shoulder pad or elbow protector down on the field. Lost by Bobby Stoops.
Beautiful line takeoff here by all of Nebraska. And you can see the trap as Mandelko pulled around. Beautiful block there by Steinkühler, number 71. The linebackers and the safety men come up. Craig almost breaks the tackle, or Rozier rather.
Bobby Stoops comes out, and Dave Chambers, number 8, replaces him. 2nd down on the foot. So they give it to Wilkening, who's got the first down. First down inside the 15 at about the 12-yard line. And Nebraska, which got this ball on their own 80-yard line, has moved only one long yardage situation. That was after a penalty to make it 3rd and 8. And that's when Turner Gill threw to Irving Fryer for the first down at midfield.
Their 4th consecutive first down in this drive.
First down and 10.
No score. Hot day, opening game, both ball clubs. One of them the Big 10 champion, the other the Big 8 champion. That's a good way to start the season.
Iowa's beginning to crowd the defense just a little bit.
Here's Turner Gill back to throw. Has the time, lots of time, lost it in the end zone. There he is. And he's out of bounds. Scott Brown is out of bounds. Todd Brown, the senior out of Holdridge, was there, but a foot came down out of bounds. He was right along the baseline of the end zone.
Gill has all day to throw the ball, as you can see. Beautiful protection. He finally sees Brown wide open in the end zone, gets the ball to him, but Brown had run a little too deep, and he was across the end line, so it's an incomplete pass.
Well, let's face it, by and large today, Nebraska in this opening series at least has done exactly what it has wanted to do. It has moved the football, has not given it up, had one small motion problem, but other than that, it's been A-OK. Here's Turner Gill carrying for the first time inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 5. Gill, remember, had that nerve damage in his lower right leg. They were concerned for him, but he says he is in super shape. They did not have him at the end of the season, nor did they have him, of course, in the Orange Bowl.
the Iowa linebacker shot the gap. Gill was so quick that he optioned off him.
Big play here. 3rd and 5. Makes a difference of trying to kick a field goal into the wind, or perhaps keeping this drive alive. Wokening and Craig the setbacks. Here's Turner Gill. Gill, I do not know whether or not he's got the first down. Looks like he might be about a yard shy of the first down, and it's decision time. James Erb came up to make the stop, along with Dave Brown.
Gill again running the option play here. There's a little counter fake. He raises up, fakes the pass, then cuts back up inside. Had some running room. A little bit short of the first down, but it appears that Nebraska will go for the first down rather than the field goal.
As they've got 2 tight ends in, as Fryer goes out, looking for the first down. Gill, Wokening, and Rozier now, the men in that eye. About a yard to go. Wokening's got it, and is close to the touchdown. Has the touchdown. Big Red. Let's go those red balloons. And Hayden Fry, it's a warm afternoon, and he's afraid it might be a long afternoon.
His team looked very poised defensively, but the Nebraska line backs were executing with mid-season form. Beautiful drive.
Held onto the ball for almost 6 minutes. Kevin Seibel comes in, kicks it through, and it is 7-0. As Doug Wokening, the junior out of Littleton, Colorado, in the ball game for only a few plays, has the remaining 4 yards for the touchdown.
Very good takeoff by the Nebraska line. You can see the center, Remington, and the 2 guards. It's a trap block. Beautiful trap that time by Mandelko. Opened the hole nicely. Wokening was able to keep his feet and bounce across the goal line for the touchdown.
9:03 to go. First quarter. Nebraska's drawn first blood. Everything is coming up red. Nebraska 7, Iowa nothing. Kick it off for Nebraska, and Norm Granger, number 26, and Glenn Buggs, number 20. Granger on your right, Buggs on your left, are back to receive the football, and for the first time in 1982, accepting that Rose Bowl appearance, of course, on the first of the year, Iowa will get the football. 13 plays reeled off by Nebraska. 1 5-yard penalty, but it did not hurt them a bit. Ivo kicks off. This is Buggs. Outstanding kickoff returner, taking the ball at the 9-yard line. Gets a little hold in there. He goes. Almost a saving tackle there, but he is out to midfield. And we told you that Glenn Buggs, a junior out of South Beloit, Illinois, is an outstanding runner back, I should say, of kicks. He's done the job anyway, Bud, as was spotted inside the 50-yard line.
It's a high kick. He should get good coverage, but he got beautiful blocking. You could see the gap open right up the middle on the wedge. He broke the tackle of the safety man, Lide, and then broke it down the sidelines and just across the midfield line. Good field position.
Brett Clark, Tony Felici looked like in on the stop. First down. Now let us see what Chuck Long, who's thrown the ball only once in his career, can do. Hands the ball off. And Eddie Phillips carries it for a few yards. Let's check in on that Iowa offense now. It is Chuck Long, a sophomore, number 16, the quarterback. Granger, the fullback, one of the captains. Phillips, who just carried the ball, running back. Brohammer, one wide receiver. Moritz, the other. And Hufford is the tight end. Alt, Lavellis, Bailey, Relk, and Miller, your offensive line. Second down, and about 7 from the 46 of Nebraska. Iowa constantly shifting, now shifting into a shotgun. Long back, flag is down. Throws the ball out, has Eddie Phillips, and down he goes. But remember, a flag is down. Alan Lydell, the senior cornerback, put him down. Piner, Williams, Tranmer, Herman, and Felici, the defensive line for Nebraska. Dan Kroger, one of the captains, McWhorter. The linebackers, Lide, who just made that stop, and Norman, Clark, and Harris, your men in the backfield. Second down, and but I was looking at the monitors, so obviously the penalty was refused. It was against Iowa.
I believe it was a motion penalty. Offside, he said.
Offside. They're going to refuse it because there's a loss on the play in any event.
3rd down and 9.
3rd and 9, the ball at the 48-yard line.
Iowa will go into a great number of formations. Unusual on 2nd down and 6 that you go into the shotgun, but they did. Long completed one pass last year for Iowa, the only pass that he threw in competition, but he hit 78% of his passes in spring practice, so potentially he's a good thrower.
They put both Moritz and Brohamer, their wide receivers, to the short side. His long, quick pitch back. Phillips is ridden down by Dan Kroger, the captain and one of the many Dan Kroger brothers who have played here at Nebraska. Another loss on the play.
Some attacking defense. When they're going through correctly, they make it very, very difficult for an inexperienced line.
Now the nation's best punter is coming out to kick the ball away, and that'll be Reggie Roby. The wind is at his back, and even though he's 51 yards from the goal line, it is likely he will kick at least that distance. Wind at his back, booming kick. Will it get out of bounds or will it go in the end zone? It is into the end zone, and so it's not a great net on that kick, as the ball will come out to the 20-yard line again. A long kick, but it's only worth 31 yards as far as Iowa is concerned. So Nebraska, which had it for 13 plays in the score before, has the ball right back. 7:13 to go, first quarter. Nebraska leading 7-0, and here's Craig, and make that Rozier in at tailback, and he's got a couple of yards out to the 22-yard line, and down at the bottom of the pile you can see Kevin Spitzig, the junior linebacker out of Ankeny.
Unusual play. Normally when the quarterback tosses the ball back to the I-back, it's going to be a wide play or at least off tackle. That time Rozier cut it back right up the middle. Iowa did not pursue too far to the outside. Recovered nicely. Good defense.
Todd Brown wide right, Irving Fryer wide left. Craig in there as the fullback, and they're going to put the ball out to Craig, and Spitzig is after him and knocks him down. Fine play by Kevin Spitzig, number 38. Little or no gain. Let's call it still. 2nd down and 8 to go from the 22-yard line. Make it 2nd and 7 to go from 23, and make it 3rd down. I got it.
The screen that was set up to throw to either side that time, he finally decided to move it out to Craig, but Spitzig read it, and it was covered on the other side too.
There's Turner Gill on a big 3rd down play, and the ball is intended for Fryer, slightly behind him. He took quite a hit there from James Erb, the linebacker, and it's 4th down, and so they have held.
Defense looked much better coordinated that time. I don't think Nebraska either was quite as high as they were on their first drive from an emotional, mental standpoint.
Well, remember a week ago at Penn State, the Nittany Lions looked fantastic. First 3 times they got the football, and then they kind of came back down to earth for a while. And this is Grant Campbell.
He also is a great kicker, Jim.
Best ever for Nebraska, 43.4 last year.
And hardly any returns.
That is Moritz back to the 30, the 29-yard line, and in a crowd, and down he goes. Dave Moritz, punt returner, and that is a 57-yard kick. And remember, that kick was into the wind. So Campbell does his job, and now the Iowa offense will try to get its job done. They had a rough first series after Glenn Buggs got him in an excellent situation, returning the kickoff back to the 49-yard line of Nebraska. Now Moritz comes wide to the right. Brohamer to the, I should say, Brohamer right and Moritz left. Again, the shotgun by Chuck Long. 7-0 Nebraska first quarter. Long, not with any rush at all, is going to try to get out of it. He's not going to do it. Got back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a little bit more, and that's all. They closed in around him, led by Doug Herman.
4-man rush, so 7 men downfield, had every receiver covered.
2nd down.
Second down, 10. The ball is on the 29.
Hawkeyes now sending in Vince Campbell, number 85. As a wide receiver. Campbell wide to the right. 2nd down, 10. And off to Eddie Phillips, and he is back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. The Iowa offense. Now remember, Iowa did not return many men on defense or offense. Dan Kroger makes the stop.
Let's take a look at Dan Kroger on the replay. 230-pound senior with great ability to find the ball carrier and then solid physical ability to make the grinding tackle to keep him from falling forward.
4 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Orts to the right, Grohammer to the left. I formation this time. Granger and Phillips are running backs. They need a lot of yardage. Here's Long hitting the ball out to Phillips. He's covered beautifully. What a play by Wade Kreiner, a junior out of Battle Creek, number 85. He was on him all the way.
Beautiful fake inside. Long throws the screen out. Kreiner is right with his man, keeps one hand on him, brings him to the ground. And again, Iowa is thrown for a loss.
Well, the only thing I can say, Bud, is Reggie Roby, the finest punter in collegiate history as far as average is concerned, is going to get a chance to boom one with the wind again. Line of scrimmage at the 26-yard line, and he booms another one. Back, and that is Jeff Smith with the football. Wow, does he take a hit. And down at the 39-yard line, Nebraska leading 7-0, 3:39 to go. First quarter has the football one more time. Back to Lincoln, Nebraska, where everything is all red after this. Ball at the 39-yard line of Nebraska. They've got the lead and the football. First down 10. Wilkening in the backfield at fullback. And Rozier's the eye back, and he's got it, and he takes a hit as he gets to the 44-yard line. A gain of 5, second down and 5, and it looked like it was Mr. Erb again, along with Kevin Spitzik, that made the hit.
It was a beautiful, beautiful hit. There's the toss back. Rozier cuts up behind the block of Wilkening. And then he really gets a solid shot from Erb. He was slowed up, trying to change directions when he was hit.
Ball is on the 44.
Second down. And I don't know whether he got the first down or not. Spitzik makes the stop as well. Shane Swanson and Ricky Simmons are both in as wide receivers. Simmons number 7, Swanson number 17. Aiden Fry talking to his quarterback, wide receivers. They're going to have to crank it up. I think we're going to have our first time out of this game for a measurement.
Nebraska offensive line. Beautiful coordination in this early in the season. There are 6 seniors in the offensive line, 1 junior, so it's a team that should be able to play well early in the year.
We will see this Nebraska football team again in a couple of weeks when they will have their hands full. They will get Penn State. And then a couple of weeks of that, after that, they will have their hands full. They will get Alabama. ESPN will be there for both those games. That's how little they've got to go. And there's not been a down yet played by Nebraska today that they haven't at least gotten that much and a lot more. Third down and a foot.
From a coaching standpoint, you hope they'll jump offside. From a motion standpoint, if you're working from the Iowa side.
There's Turner Gill taking it inside the midfield. First down, Nebraska.
And a pretty good place to run behind Remington, Stanko, and Maldelko. Those 3 men are big.
Your attention, please.
Fullback, just a quarterback sneak. Rozier moving to the outside, and he really did deliver quite a blow on number 21, Mitchell, the contained man for Iowa.
Tom Osborne took over for Bob Devaney, who remains here as the athletic director. He's been successful. Craig and Rozier now both in that backfield. Craig takes over as fullback. Here comes Turner Gill. Here comes Turner Gill. First down at the 41-yard line. They got to get the nose of the football on the 40 to get the first down. Keith Hunter came up to make the stop.
Not much of a foot race between he and Joseph. Let's take a look at Joseph. He's the 96 here on the end of the line. Rozier gets a partial block on him, but he simply doesn't have speed enough to get out there and control Gill. Gill turns up the field, lunges forward, and picks up almost the first down.
That was Bobby Stoops, correction, number 41, who made the stop. Second down and a half a yard. you would expect Turner Gill himself. That's what he's done on other situations like this. But this time, on second down, he's going to throw it. And as his man Fryer, touchdown!
Beautiful throw. Fryer made a great reception, and just a simple fly pattern, as we call it, breaking down the sidelines. You see the ball in the air. He's gotten beyond the defenders, and he's got speed enough to avoid the free safety coming across, and it's a simple, easy touchdown for Nebraska.
41-yard touchdown pass on second down and short. Seibel in to add the extra point. He does it. 1:30 to go. And the Big Red of Nebraska, remembering that upset of a year ago, have taken a quick 14-0 lead. Next week, ESPN continues its march through the college football season. We've got 3 ball games coming up next week. Michigan at Notre Dame. How's that for a starter for 2 outfits? And then Alabama at Mississippi. And then Bud and I will go down to Houston for Bill Yeoman's group against Arizona State, that boasts a couple of fine defensive All-Americans in Vernon Maxwell and Mike Richardson. 3 games next week here on ESPN. 61 yards, 5 plays. It only took them 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and Osborne's group is off and running. And quite frankly, Iowa, and they knew they had to rebuild. They only have about a half a dozen people back as starters, in a deep hole, down 14-0, and shades of what happened here 2 years ago when the Hawkeyes walked out having lost 57-0. I'm not anticipating that, and certainly Iowa anticipates getting back into the ball game. But Chuck Long and company are going to have to get it cranked up, and the Nebraska defense has looked superb.
Iowa has not yet made a first down on their first 2 possessions.
Seibel to kick off, and Buggs is going to get another chance. From the 3-yard line, Len Buggs got that acceleration and gets out across the 20. They'll mark it at about the 24, and Long, Phillips, Granger, Brohammer, Moritz will try to get something going again against this tough Nebraska defense. A couple of years ago, Nebraska was in the top 3 on rushing offense and in the top 3 on the defense against the rush.
That's what it takes, playing both sides of the game.
1:23 left in this first quarter. Moritz and Brohammer both come very wide left. Cuts long, hands to his back. Phillips, who picks up 3 or 4 yards, gets across the 25 and out to about the 27. Jeff Merrill in at nose guard, and Steve Damkroger in on the tackle. Iowa was the Cinderella team last year when they were 8-3 in the regular season, and then went on to face another team that's aiming for the #1 spot this year, Washington, in the Rose Bowl, and the Huskies shut them out 28-0. Second down, a long 5 to go. Both wide receivers to the short side of the field now. And there's Phillips again, and he's running right into McWhorter. Makes that Tony Felici 46 and Alan Lyday 18. No gain, second down.
Talk about controlling the line of scrimmage being the important thing. Nebraska's defensive line controls the line of scrimmage, and their offensive line controls also the line of scrimmage.
Well, this should be the last play of the first quarter, but an award this quarter to Nebraska. They lead 14-0 with 13 seconds left. Third down, 5 to go. Iowa showing a lot of the shotgun today. Long back. Has the time again, running out of time. Now gets the ball away, and the catch was almost made by Granger. Would have been a first down at the 37-yard line. But he took a hit by Damkroger by the time the ball got there. Time has run out. First quarter is over. And this capacity crowd is thrilled because most of them are rooting for the Big Red of Nebraska. Wilkening took one in from 4 yards out. Fryer had one on the 41-yard touchdown pass from Turner Gill. Nebraska 14, Iowa nothing. cry from upstairs, Bud. You folks are always talking to the men upstairs.
You're trying to figure out some way to move the ball, but the Nebraska defense is very quick, very alert, and that secondary that was theoretically the only portion of the team that was supposed to be suspect. Murphy, Clark, Van Norman, and Lyday have performed beautifully.
You know, a lot of good ball clubs coming off last year and expected to be good this year have already played their first games, and most of them have sputtered. Some have won by not much, but Nebraska looks like it is in mid-season form. Remember, Nebraska started this fast. I was just thinking, he started this fast last year with a couple of wins, including one over Florida State, and then in came Penn State.
And Kurt Warner had a great day. And it's going to be a very interesting game 2 weeks from now. The problem that you have when you're playing a punter that kicks the ball as long as Roby is how do you cover the kick that well? Nebraska made a fairly good return the last time he putted the ball, and see what kind of return they can put on this time. They believe that they can return punts.
Well, remember Roby with that great average, he has netted 31 yards on one punt and 35 on the other. One because it went in the end zone, the other because it was returned. He booms it again. Now this is into the wind. Fryer is back there at the 17-yard line, and he's going to get another good return out across the 30-yard line, about a 14-yard return, and a flag has gone down after the play. A flag is down after the play is over. This time, the net yardage is 40 yards. Now, remember, that's not what they're going to give him as an average. That's what the net yardage is, because the returns go after they caught the ball.
His statistical average last year was incredible. It was 49.8, but that's how far he kicked the ball. That does not figure in the returns against him.
Well, Nebraska is moving back. Referee John McClintock is talking to the Iowa folks. And they will take this one way back, won't they? Anytime you see a flag after a play, you can pretty well figure it's going to be one of the bigger penalties. It takes the ball back to the 16-yard line. Oh, first down from the 16-yard line. The only time Nebraska's been pushed back today has been on a 5-yard penalty and a 15-yard penalty. Iowa made no yards at all in the first quarter. No net yards. Turner Gill throwing the ball is 3 for 6 for 79 yards. And of course the score is 14-0. But when you can register 0, that is quite something.
That is a dominant defense.
Only thing worse is minus yardage. Here comes Swanson in motion. The quick pitch back to Craig, and Craig rolls across the 20, rolling over the top of Kevin Spitzig.
The Iowa defense played very well on that down. They all moved to the outside very well. The running back, though, was such a great back. Roger Craig, he saw that there was nothing open on the outside or off tackle, and broke it back into the middle to pick up the 5-yard gain.
Scott Raridan is coming as an offensive tackle for Nebraska. We're liable to see a lot of Nebraska folks before this one's over. He wasn't even listed on our depth chart. Second down and 5 to go from the 21. That is Swanson in motion. Turner Gill hands to Craig, and Craig is within a couple of yards of the first down. Down below is Dave Strobel, hanging on along with Larry Station, a freshman linebacker out of, by the way, Omaha, Nebraska. Brad Johnson has come in for Dave Remington at center, and the All-American is taking a rest. Remember, when we came on the air, it was 84 degrees, the humidity about 70%. Ricky Simmons wide to the right.
Big play for Iowa. If they can stop him here and force him to kick, prove everything.
Third down and 2, and did he get it? I believe he did. Roger Craig, I think, got to the 27, and that'll be enough for a first down for Nebraska if that's where they mark it. And they're going to move the sticks. First down, Nebraska, leading 14-0, 13 and a half minutes to go, first half. Nebraska next week gets New Mexico State right here. Iowa will go home and get their intra-state rival, Iowa State, next week.
We We are experiencing technical difficulties with the sound portion of this program. Please stand by while adjustments are made. We are experiencing technical difficulties with the sound portion of this program. Please stand by while adjustments are made.
They haven't lost their poise or confidence, but they're going against an offensive team that really has everything that you need. They've got great speed, great power, and they're throwing the ball well.
Lane Corbin is now into the right cornerback spot for the Iowa defense. They only returned 2 starters from last year. Second down and long. Turner Gill being pursued from behind, and he's going to be sandwiched and cannot get away.
No, he almost did. Just one shoe.
Cannot get away. Kevin Spitzig holding on to that ankle. And I think he lost a half a yard, and if he did, mark that down as a first for Nebraska this ball game. Losing yardage.
Second time that they have come in with third down long. They made a good pass in their first drive when it was 3rd and 8, and they hit Fryer for 27 yards.
Fryer this time is wide right. Ricky Simmons to the left. Third down and nearly 10 to go. Turner Gill, straight drop back, blitzes on, gets the ball away, has Fryer again. Irving Fryer is having an outstanding day. Caught a ball on 3rd and long, caught a ball for a touchdown of 41 yards, and this is another first down. And Fryer is down on the ground. But it's first down. They've already begun to move the sticks. Fryer is up, and he's okay.
He's very happy to have that ball thrown to him.
Tell you what, they say about Fryer that he's got 4.36 speed, but when the ball gets there, Bud, he catches it. Good hands.
4.3, anything under 4.4 is just phenomenal speed.
Good hands also. First down, at least today, from the 38-yard line. Nebraska leading 14-0 and on a drive again. Here's Rozier trying to get outside, does get outside, and tries to run over Bobby Stoops, but cannot, and nearly has enough for a first down. Ran right over Bobby Stoops, but Stoops, the senior out of Youngstown, Ohio, got the job done and made the stop.
Basic play from the I formation. The quarterback handing off. Rozier gets outside behind some very good blocking, cuts upfield, and was very, very disappointed that he did not run past Stoops. As you can see, he thought, if they get me that far out, I ought to be able to score.
2nd and a yard. Last time, we remember, there's a second down and less than a yard. Turner Gill threw 41 yards for a touchdown to Irving Fryer. This time, he's going to throw the ball again. Looking deep, he's got Scott Brown there, and he can't make the catch at his shoe tops at the 1-yard line.
It's the first bad ball I'd say that Turner Gill has thrown. It wasn't that bad, but he underthrew it just a little bit. Probably nervous, and you can see that he's as disappointed as possible to be. The receiver, Brown, is open here, but the ball is underthrown. Couldn't quite get back quickly enough to make the reception.
Todd Brown must be wondering, what must I do? He was out of the end zone for a touchdown pass, and here he could have gone into the end zone, and the ball was underthrown.
He could have 2 and still empty-handed. 3rd
down and short now. And here's Rozier. He's got the first down easy inside the 25-yard line. And making the tackle is Mike Yaculo, a junior out of Deerfield, Illinois.
Rozier getting the quick toss from Gill. Gill moves in the line to block for him. Little hole. He lowers his shoulders, drives forward as he should. Easily picks up the first down.
Ball on the 24-yard line. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Nebraska on its way. They hope for a 3rd touchdown. They lead by 2. First down. Turner Gill. Fryer on the end around, and Fryer is knocked down by Nate Nate Creer, a freshman out of Brooklyn, New York, number 29. But again, big yardage inside the 20 this time, down to the 17-yard line.
And a very balanced offense. They've thrown the screen passes, they run inside, they run outside, and now they gave us a big misdirection play with Fryer on the reverse.
All right, Bud, we came in knowing of Roger Craig, knowing of Mike Rozier. Guess who the star is thus far? Fryer.
I would agree with you, along with Turner Gill.
Fryer's caught the ball. Fryer's carried the ball. Second down. Here goes Rozier, and Rozier's got the first down. First down. Ball at the 16-yard line. Hanging on for dear life is Tony Wankett, a sophomore out of Atkinson, Illinois, number 92.
Number 29.
The strength of an offensive team really always has to be in the middle, and that's one of the great places that Nebraska has beautiful, beautiful, overpowering strength almost with Remington, Mandelko, and Steinkorn. With the three middle men, they can overpower almost anyone.
There's Roger Craig, some neat work at the line of scrimmage, and 5 yards inside the 10. Took a step left, a step right, and then went straight ahead.
It's very difficult to have this much elusiveness in such close quarters. Look at that break. Inside, back outside, back inside before he's hit.
Ball at the 6-yard line. Second down and 4 to go for the first down. Craig and Rozier are the setbacks. And this is Craig looking for touchdowns. Got it. Well, the folks are sitting through this hot, humid, sunny afternoon. Those dressed in red, at least, don't mind the heat a bit. Craig scores. Evan Seibel. Turner Gill to hold. He's already kicked 2. And now he's kicked 3. 8:50 to go. Still in the first half. Nebraska 21, Iowa nothing. Where the Big Red, led by their big All-American center, have scored again.
Number 50, Remington, the All-American center, all-academic player also, 290 pounds, 6'3", awesomely powerful.
And quick, and that's Craig who took it in. Seibel to kick off again with the win. 84-yard drive in 14 plays this time, taking 6 minutes off the clock. I'm trying to think, and I know that Hayden Fry knows the capabilities and limitations of his ball club here early in the season, inexperienced as it is. But if Nebraska continues to play as it is, Tom Osborne's going to have to put tongue in cheek to tell his players that they've got to improve.
This is a team that has their set sight on the national championship. Had they beaten Clemson in the Orange Bowl last year, they might have won the national championship. They've been thinking about that ever since that game.
Iowa kicking off. They will let this, with the wind behind it, go out of bounds, and Iowa will start again. There's a flag down on the far side of the field. Oh, hold on. Don McClintock, our referee. Nebraska was offside on the kickoff, and apparently Iowa wants them to kick it again.
He kicked that one solidly enough that if he kicked it from the 35, he'll still put it way through the end zone.
Hayden Fry, as we said, Coach of the Year, did an outstanding job last year. A lot of these freshmen and sophomores on the Iowa team have had a little bit of experience, more than what it would indicate by saying they're freshmen or sophomores. A lot of them are redshirted. As on our hour-long special on ESPN, we point out this is the year of the red shirt. When they allowed the freshmen to redshirt 4 years ago, that all culminating now.
Hayden feels that this is going to be a very good football team by the middle of the season, but recognized in talking with him yesterday that to play a team like Nebraska, the opening game was going to be very difficult to handle.
Well, I've seldom seen that. Kevin Seibel went back to tee it up to kick it off from the 35, and all of a sudden, the mind has been changed, and they're not going to kick it off again. They're simply going to take the ball at the 20, and that's it. Oh, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
I think that's where it would have been, Jim, had he kicked again, because with the wind behind him, he's got plenty of foot to put it again through the end zone.
Chuck Long comes out, the sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois. You know who came from there? A fellow they call the Iceman, Red Grange. A quarterback for Iowa. Here's Phillips. Boy, in a nutcracker. Eddie Phillips, a junior out of Chicago, gets out to the 23, and he is just sandwiched there, led by Alan Day, who has made some tough hits and some saving hits today. Tony Felici also over on the tackle.
Day is only 185 pounds, 5'11", but he hits with the authority of a linebacker.
Brohammer's come out as a wide receiver, and Vince Campbell has come in for Iowa. On 2nd down and 7. Moritz wide left, Campbell wide right. There is Granger carrying the ball for perhaps a yard. Clock continues to roll down to the 8-minute mark in the 2nd quarter. 21-0 Nebraska. This time Bill Weber, a sophomore, made the stop along with Brent Evans.
This is beautiful defensive football by the Nebraska team. You can see a fine individual block there, however. And it was a very, very tough go against Felici, but a little bit of a confrontation, and they decided, well, we ought to get back to playing football.
I think Tony Felici said you did, and Joe Lavella said I did not.
But I think he did.
1st quarter, Missouri nothing, Army nothing.
3rd down and 6 to go. Well, they got to kick the ball away into the wind. There, oh, down goes Long. And that's Mike Knox, number 44, getting up. The sophomore linebacker at Castle Rock, Colorado. And here comes the All-American kicker in again.
Knox gets just right, shooting the gap. There was a little bit of a delay on the misdirection. He got a hold of Long before Long had a chance to even begin to start the pattern of play.
It has thus far been a long, warm afternoon for Iowa. Jeff Smith, 28 back. Irving Fryer, 27 back. And Roby, the All-American, who's booted the ball well, but has netted 40, 35, and 31 yards after the return, or after being brought out of the end zone, is back to kick inside his own 5. Oh my, low line drive kick from there, and this could be his most effective kick, despite the fact it didn't look that good.
Don't know what happened, how he missed it, whether the wind blew it a little bit, but he didn't shank it as much as just hit it low. Let's watch it and see. He had to make a little bit of a move to the left. The snap was a little bit further to the outside. The ball dropped well, but you can see he caught much too far on the outside of his foot.
And that is the longest net punt, 45 yards, as the wind continues to blow.
High 10.
Nate Mason is coming at quarterback now for Nebraska, number 8. Turner Gill is through for a while at least. There wasn't much of a chance there for Gill to get a lot of rest. Here's Roger Craig, and hanging on to him as he goes through his, I believe, Kevin Spitzig again, number 38. And it is 2nd down and 9 to go. Ricky Simmons checks back in, wide receiver, and Todd Brown goes out for Nebraska. Simmons carries the number 7. Coming out to the left, Fryer to the right.
Tom Osborne had planned to play Mason regardless of what the score was at about this time in the game. I think he feels a little more comfortable, however, with the score being as it is before he put Mason in.
There's Roger Craig trying to step over a man but cannot. Kevin Spitzig is there, and also getting up is Strawn Joseph down at the bottom. Well, now it is 3rd down and 7 to go. Todd Brown comes in with a replay for Nate Mason. Rozier comes back in. Craig has carried 10 times for 46 yards. Now Craig goes out.
Last year, Craig averaged 6.1 yards. Rozier 6.2. That's a great 1-2 punch.
Shalene has now come in as the fullback, number 25 for Nebraska, on his 3rd down and long. Mason's first throw of the year, and he has overthrown his man. Gee, Todd Brown has done everything but catch a ball for long yardage today. He was down the sideline, had his man beaten. The ball was overthrown and out of bounds. not led at all. Nate Mason's first pass of the year.
And we've got a penalty flag down the field.
Involving the Big 8 Conference School. First quarter score, Oklahoma 14.
Nebraska walking backwards, but since it could bring up fourth down, they may refuse this penalty if it's against Nebraska. Keith Hutter coming back in, and Zane Corbin going out in the defensive secondary for Iowa.
There's a holding penalty. They're discussing now whether they want to take it or not, or let it be 4th down and 6.
Let me be a coach for a while. I think I'd refuse it.
No question about it. You do not want to give a team like Nebraska an extra down. You know they have to punt the ball here. Why give them a chance to pick up a big play by accepting a penalty?
Plus the fact that when they do punt, they've got a good one too in Campbell, and the wind is at his back. All right, Moritz goes deep, standing inside his own 15-yard line, and Campbell, who boomed one the only other time he had to punt, the greatest punter ever. He went 57 net yards, greatest punter ever at Nebraska, a senior, number 24, kicked the ball with the wind. Snap, he kicks it straight up in the air. Absolutely straight up in the air and a little off the side of his foot.
And he is disgusted.
Hey, well, you've seen two of the finest punters in the nation. Their records tell us so. That's just not me saying it. And the last 2 times, each one has kind of bombed out. However, Roby did come away with his longest net kick. 5 minutes exactly to go in the first half. Nebraska 21 and Iowa nothing. 6-yard kick gives the ball to Iowa, and there's a mix-up in the line of scrimmage, and Chuck Long hangs onto the ball and falls down. Gives the ball to Iowa at the 31-yard line. Make it the 32-yard line. Now it's back at the 31 after the fumble snap from center.
This is the 5th possession by Iowa, and they have yet to make a first down against the Nebraska defense.
Rohammer coming out, Campbell coming back in as wide receiver. And as Nebraska has been alternating tight ends with the plays from the bench, Iowa's been alternating wide receivers with plays from the bench. Shotgun again. Long fakes the pass and is not going to go any. Well, he does get away. Outstanding chance for Brent Evans to make the tackle, number 48, and let him get away, and Mike Knox had to come up to make it.
Brent Evans, number 48.
Very good reaction here by Long. He fakes the pass, didn't really fake it very authentically, but they did get very good blocks in the line. Appeared that he was held up there, but he bounced off, and that's, I think, the biggest gain made by Iowa thus far in the game.
Well, actually, Evans was almost screened away from the man by his own man. Oh, don't be harsh on Evans. He did as well as he could as I looked at the replay. Here's Phillips carrying back to the 40-yard line, and it is shy of a first down. And unless Hayden Fry wants to pull the supreme gamble, he's going to have to kick the ball away again.
It's a little bit too far to take that gamble. It's about 2 yards to go. If it were 1 or a little less than 1, when you're behind 21-0, you might be tempted.
Don't you think that Reggie Roby would want to kick this from here to Omaha after his last one?
I think that we'll see a different kind of ball in the air than the last one that he kicked. It'll be interesting to see what the net yardage is.
Yep. Highest ever was the one he did not kick well.
Back for Nebraska.
Jeff Smith back inside his own 20, now backing up to the 15. And the All-American Reggie Roby booms one. Toward the sideline, Smith over there at the 16-yard line has a slight wall, tries to get out of it, but cannot in his run out of bounds across the way. By Mike Hooks. 2:51 left, and this day has belonged to Nebraska. It's 21-0. Net punt by Roby of only 32 yards. Well, you make up your own mind. There's the end of the stadium, and we're still coming, but at least they can see what's going on. Roger Craig carried the ball and got about a yard as we come back now to the game itself with 2:40 to go in the first half. 21-0.
It's like watching the game from the Goodyear blimp.
Probably have a radio over there or two that they can listen to and be able to see what's going on. Second down, nearly 10 to go. Turner Gill back in with the football. Throws the ball and throws it on one hop to Ricky Simmons. Incomplete. Third down and 10.
Turner's very upset with himself with that kind of a throw. He was throwing on the run, but he was moving to the right. He should be able to deliver the ball better than he did. In most cases, he would.
George Little comes in, and Uhlenhake goes out, a defensive tackle for Iowa. Little is a sophomore out of Duquesne, Pennsylvania. Nebraska wound up last year 9-3-0, 7-0 in the Big 8, and then lost to Clemson and the national championship possibility 22-15 in the Orange Bowl. Third down and long. Turner Gill back. Has the time, looks out for Rozier. Man, he got some blocks there, and Rozier's got his first down and is out to the 45-yard line. They needed 10, they got 15.
Beautiful execution of the screen pass. Long yardage, you expect the defense to be rushing. Craig looked downfield, then turned, hit Rozier. You can see the wall of blockers that he cuts inside. His wide receiver makes a good block out there, cuts back inside, moves upfield. Very fine block that time by his lineman. I believe that was Thies that made that very good block to spring him for extra yardage.
Dave Strobel thought he had him, Bud, and he's the one that was knocked down by that wall of folks. Here's Turner Gill, and there is Swanson, and the ball is tipped away. Finest play of the day defensively in the backfield for Iowa. Devin Mitchell, the freshman, but again, he is a red shirt out of Brooklyn, New York.
Number 21.
Mitchell poised. Gill is back again. He's got excellent protection. He gets rid of the ball nicely.
Second down 10. Ball is on the 45.
Mitchell comes across.
Remaining in the first
He's able
half.
to get a hand on the ball to prevent the completion of the pass.
Second down and 10 from the 45 of Nebraska. Opening game for both ball clubs. Both teams in major bowls last January 1st, both lost in those bowls. There's Mike Rozier. A helmet goes wide, and I believe that's the first time today. And we can't call Mike Bortz even there. That is Paul Hufford that made the stop, number 64, a sophomore out of Mount Vernon, Iowa. Mark Bortz last year, he is their great Big Ten tackle, had 8 tackles in the game, the upset of Nebraska. 2 of those were sacks, and he also recovered 2 fumbles, one of them to save the ball game when Nebraska was on the move in the closing stages. And Tom Osborne remembers that. Third down, 8 to go. And there's Rozier. Second time today that Mike has been caught going toward the line of scrimmage. Another flag. Back in the area of Turner Gill, where again Paul Hufford was, along with Tony Wankin.
I don't know that the Iowa players were able to hear the whistle blow. Obviously, Nebraska had jumped the count. It was an offside backfield in motion, illegal procedure penalty, and I don't believe they heard the whistle as they closed. Let's take a look here, and you can see everybody moving before the ball is snapped. The wingback moved over on the right side of your screen. Turner Gill looking up quickly to get ready to throw a quick pass.
That's what it is, just a legal motion only, no other penalty, and Nebraska fans don't like that. Tom Osborne questions that.
I thought it was the correct call because I don't believe that the Iowa people heard the whistle blow.
Fourth down and 12 to go, and Campbell will again have to kick the ball away. Grant Campbell, last time, kicked a net of 26 yards, remember, straight up in the air and off the side of his foot and out of bounds. He's got the wind at his back. High, deep, toward the end zone. No safety men back there at all, and it'll get into the end zone. We'll come out to the 20-yard line. 1 minute, 1 second to go, first half. And Nebraska is all go. 21-0 over Iowa. One minute and 1 second to go in the half.
And Iowa has taken a timeout.
We go away after the kick, and we come back, and Chuck Long says, hey, I would like to have a timeout to go over to talk to Hayden Fry. Hayden has brought color and excitement and success to the Iowa team, taking him to the Rose Bowl and the Big Ten title last year. And while we wait, let's talk about another kind of sport, top-ranked boxing, which is coming up this Thursday, September the 16th, 8:30 Eastern Time. That's 5:30 in the Pacific Coast, live from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Sam Rosen and Randy Gordon will be there to bring you a 12-round ESPN heavyweight final. James Broad against Eddie Mack. Broad is 8-0, and Mack is 15-5-2. Broad is not only 8-0, but has won 5 of the 8 on knockouts. That's this Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
And we need to be thinking of our Vitalis player of the game. I have a hunch, Jim, he's going to be wearing a red jersey, but I don't know who he is at this point in time.
Now I know why we have you on these telecasts. It's insight like that, Bud Wilkinson. Well, it would have to be quite a reversal 21-0. And if Iowa had picked up a first down at least along the way, you could say, well, they're almost in it. But really, they have been shut down offensively and have not been able to shut down Nebraska except on 2 occasions. Shotgun formation, first down from the 20-yard line. Throwing downs all of them for Long, but he's going to hand off this time to Phillips, anticipating that. This will take time off the clock, takes him up to the 28-yard line.
And a quick little forward handoff from the shotgun formation. Tough play to stop because you expect the throw when the shotgun is being used.
That took, let's see, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23 seconds off the clock and still running, only 30. Whoops, they may be deep trouble before this is over. At least a safety, if not a touchdown. Goes out of bounds. Touchdown, Nebraska. And that is Wade Piner. What else can happen to Iowa?
I don't know. It looks like they're about to make their first down of the game. And second down and 2. The center throws the ball over his head, and Nebraska's got speed enough to make the recovery.
Piner recovers, and if you had any, well, what do I want to say, spirit going into the end zone, that takes a lot of it out of you.
It's one of the problems of playing the shotgun. The centers aren't used to snapping the ball very much, except in specialty situations like a punt or the place kick that we're watching here.
Seibel, and it's 28-0. And I tell you, if you did not already know it coming from the Nebraska-Iowa area, if you think Nebraska's upset at what's happening today, you are wrong. 10-7 last year at Iowa City. Iowa upset Nebraska and knocked them out of a real chance for the #1 championship.
I was about to say that they're going to be encouraged by making their first down of the game. It was 2nd and 2, and the pass was way over Long's head. And you can see Piner really going in there, getting underneath Long to come up with the football before he slid out of the end zone.
Well, Iowa fans, on the other hand, can take a look at that scoreboard and say, are we snake bitten? It was the final score in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. Washington 28 and Iowa nothing.
We got another
half to go.
30 minutes and 30 seconds to play, and Hayden Fry, how in the world can that happen? You just never know.
That's what makes it tough for football coaches. You've got to have some kind of answers, some kind of statements, Bud, to bring them back again next week. But I know that Iowa, with all the men that they have lost off their starting units, felt that Nebraska, which was a huge, almost 3-touchdown favorite, would win today, even though you don't play a game that way. But things have just gone wrong, and they've absolutely been shut down. Everything until that bad snap has been Nebraska's doing. Iowa hurt themselves there. Ball goes into the end zone and out of the end zone. And with 30 seconds to go, it'll be 1st and 10. They had Craig Sundberg, a reserve quarterback, as one of the kickoff return men. He let it go by and out of the end zone. Now Long comes back in. And Nebraska sends one man back to play center field. Way back. Brett Clark, I beg your pardon. Now they've got 4 men way back. Give them some yardage, run the time off the clock. They're running with the football. Eddie Phillips takes it out. And he is stopped primarily by Steve McWhorter.
Total contained defense. There are 3 linemen.
2nd down 2.
Everybody else at least 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and 1 center fielder 25 yards back.
13 seconds to go, Bud. I don't know if they'll get off another play or not.
They might make their first down if they hustle.
5 seconds to go.
Defense.
He's going to get it off, and Long is going to carry the football, and down he goes. His time is out. Half is over, and the big red of Nebraska, #3 in the nation, before this sellout crowd have looked outstanding. At the half, the Huskers 28, the Hawkeyes nothing. It is a glorious day. Day in Lincoln, at least so far, for Cornhusker fans, as Nebraska scored nearly every way possible through the air on a bad snap on the punt and 2 running plays to lead 28-0. But statistically, I'll let Bud Wilkinson handle the big part as we get to the total here in a moment.
Well, the first downs, Iowa's first down was made on their last possession right before the half, when Nebraska was in a contained defense with only 3 men on the line of scrimmage and the linebackers about 6 yards back. They lost yards passing the ball. They rushed for a total of 7. That means that they had a net 1 yard on offense during the first half. Nebraska made 250 yards. Nebraska had the ball for 19 minutes and 30 seconds. Iowa had the ball for 10 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's a totally a one-sided football game. Nebraska dominating it in every phase.
And Nebraska will get the football again with Roby to kick off. Reggie Roby, outstanding punter, hands the kickoff duties, and that's the reason why. With the wind at his back, that goes through the goalpost into the stands, and it's Nebraska's ball, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Specifically, 80-yard drive, Wokening going over from 4 yards out in the first quarter, and then on 2nd and short yardage, Turner Gill threw a 41-yard touchdown pass to Irving Fryer to make it 14-0 at the end of the quarter. Craig scored to cap off a 80-yard drive in 14 plays from 6 yards out. And then with 37 seconds to go, the ball was snapped over the head of the tailback. The quarterback for Iowa went out of bounds, and Kreiner got it to make it 28-0. Turner Gill starts, Craig and Rozier in the backfield. Todd Brown to the right. That was the up man, Roger Craig, for a couple of yards. And Bud Wilkinson, someone said, as you look ahead to the professionals and a man like Roger Craig playing fullback, some have suggested, not me, I just read it, that having been an I-back, a tailback, that his stride is too long for a fullback.
I don't believe that's true. As far as you're seeing a great athlete, Craig can do it all. He's got balance, he's got shiftiness, he weighs 220 pounds. The hardest thing to do is to become a great blocker, and he appears to be doing that today.
2nd down and 8 to go, and this is Rozier, and hanging on to Rozier for dear life is Clay Uhlenhake. Uhlenhake, I should say. Clay, a senior out of Moravia, Iowa, number 73.
It's important for Nebraska to not become too complacent here. They obviously got a huge lead, but you need to get control of the game again, because between halves, the opponent always gets regrouped.
Now, let's also say it's important for Iowa to regain some poise and pride here. Gill back, 3rd and long, has Fryer again. Fryer has the first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Dave Strobel made the stop, and again we shall say when we get down to the Vidalas MVP, I got a nominee already.
Gill showing beautiful form. Fryer coming across underneath the linebackers. They both had dropped back. He was able to make the reception, move forward just enough to pick up the first down.
Now Todd Brown comes wide to the right. Shane Swanson has replaced Fryer for the moment. He is flanked to the right. There's Turner Gill carrying the football. They better catch him, and do. Ron Hawley, who made some saving tackles back in the first quarter, makes one here early in the second half. Move those sticks again. It's a first down out to the 47-yard line.
It's a very good fake to Rozier that froze the linebackers. You can see the trailing man. Gill did not have any time to exercise the option, just used his own speed to get out around, picking up the first down.
Off the 47. Gill pumps once, throws, and Simmons almost makes an outstanding catch. Ricky Simmons tried to haul it in with one hand, could not, and Hawley was a man defending. And it's 2nd down 10. Turner Gill, the junior out of Fort Worth, Texas.
Gill back, fakes the short pass over the middle, turns, hits Simmons. There's a little bit on the outside. Overthrew it just a hair. Simmons could not quite hold on.
2nd down 10.
Swanson comes right. Todd Brown goes left. Larry Station is coming in one linebacker spot. Here's Turner Gill. Turning the corner. Gill has got another first down. Spitzik made the stop.
Very good inside fake. You watch the two linebackers, Irv and Spitzik. They both are contained by the inside fake, and then they're blocked by the Nebraska guards. Turner Gill runs the option, has great speed, accelerates and picks up the first down.
Let me make a correction, Bud. James Erb is not in there.
I'm sorry.
Replaced by Larry Station. Erb apparently has been hurt and has not been putting in an appearance, well, within the last quarter and a half of play. There's Roger Craig, and there's Kevin Spitzig up top again. Spitzig has moved over to the left linebacker spot, and Larry Station, the freshman, is playing the right linebacker spot. 28-0. Nebraska, 12:40 to go, third quarter.
And Nebraska continues to play error-free football. I don't think they've missed an assignment. They have not thrown an interception. They have not fumbled the ball.
2nd down and 7. Rozier has gone in motion toward the line of scrimmage twice and tap him on the fingers for that, but that's about as bad as anyone has been. Craig has carried for 51 yards. Here's Rozier. Fine play at the line of scrimmage. And that was made by Strawn Joseph, the senior defensive left end. Number 96.
The Iowa defense has been very grudgingly giving up yardage for the run, but pass defense-wise, they haven't been able to generate much of a rush, and their secondary has not reacted well enough to cover the receivers.
I was going to say, Bud, 3rd and long is about the most dangerous down for Iowa. They get burned more on 3rd down and long than they do on many other plays. And now Todd Brown is wide to the left. Fire is not in there. It is Swanson flanked to the right. And Turner Gill looking to throw. Ball is batted up in the air. It's up for grabs, but nobody can get to it. Forts had his back to it. And it is 4th down as Turner Gill picks himself up. He was knocked to the ground by Uhlenhake.
It's the first time that he's really been pressured as we look at Tom Osborne. Center Remington taking the drop step to pick up his man on the pass protection block. Very solid rush and hands up in the air by the Iowa defensive line. They batted the ball. It did not get downfield.
And now Campbell will kick the ball away into the wind. And will be looking, I would imagine, for one sideline or the other to drop it inside the 5 because, well, he's just booting it toward the end zone, hoping the wind will hold it up. And it does not. It simply goes into the end zone, and so not much net yardage there. Only 18 yards. That's not what you want. As we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 11:30 to go. 3rd quarter. Nebraska on top of Iowa, 28-0. First game of the season for both teams. Granger, backfield for Iowa. The wide receivers are wide to the right, and this is Long still with the football. Puts it up, has a man out here, and what a catch made by Hufford, the tight end. That's the first time today either quarterback has thrown to a tight end. First down. That's their 2nd of the game.
Little inside fake. Long turns, comes back. He gets fairly good pressure, but maintains his poise. Throws a perfect strike. Hufford makes an excellent catch.
Ball is at the 41-yard line.
First legitimate first down by Iowa.
Vince Campbell wide to the right. Moritz to the left. And straight ahead is the fullback. Now he swings wide. Granger across the 50-yard line. And Iowa comes back with spunk. They've already gained a lot more yardage than they did in the entire first half. Even on that play they did.
It's the first time that Nebraska has missed any tackles. There's one missed tackle, and there's another missed tackle. Another missed tackle. Granger has good speed. He turns upfield, and we've had 2 successive first downs by Iowa after playing the first half with only 1 first down, and that is a half ran out against a contained defense.
Ball on the 43-yard line. First down. Long looking, has a man out there and throws, and it's caught. Across the way by Brohammer. Bill Brohammer, a junior out of Decorah. Is that correct, Elaine? For Decorah. I have to look up the names here. Some of these small towns in the Midwest I'm not that familiar with. You should be, since you probably recruited there.
I don't remember that one, but I remember a lot of others.
That's a 5-yard gain down to the 38. Iowa with its by far best drive, and Chuck Long does not look shook at all. The sophomore who was harassed in the first half. Tailback is Eddie Phillips, and he goes right up the middle, right past Dan Kroger, the linebacker. And Jeff Merrill, the nose guard, hangs in there, number 74, and makes the stop. But that's very close to a first down, and they're going to have to measure to see whether or not it is a first down. Eddie Phillips, the junior out of Chicago, Illinois. Now he says no measurement needed. First down. And there's the mascot, the Hawkeye.
A little happier Hawkeye at the moment than he was during the first half, but still not totally enthused.
Ball is on the 33-yard line. Campbell comes out. Brohammer comes back in with a play for Chuck Long, the quarterback. No score in the third quarter, but Iowa has done the better job. More noticeable because it did nothing at all in the first half. Gained 1 yard, gave up 28 points. Here's Long. Long, whoop. Ball is caught by Phillips coming out of the backfield. Another first down, I do believe, at the 22-yard line. Weber made the stop, the left end dropping off.
Iowa's picked up an amazing amount of poise, good balance. They're changing the formations. That was just a simple little crossing pattern, but they caught the Nebraska defenders and were able to split them.
That tells me something, Bud, about the Iowa players, but also about Hayden Fry. It must not have been Depressionsville in the locker room. They've come out playing.
They surely have.
Ball at the 22, first down. Hawkeyes looking for a score. They're down 28-0. Long, look out, down he goes. And that is Weber again. Bill Weber coming in from the left side. I believe that Long was down before the recovery was made, and Brohammer will bring into play.
Very good defensive call. They anticipated the pass, came with a big rush. Weber was untouched, and Long did not see him. That's a bad combination.
Ball at the 30-yard line. The line of scrimmage originally at the 28, so it is second down and 18 to go. I should say the 22. 8-yard loss. Second down and 18 to go. Moritz, wide left. Leading receiver a year ago and hasn't touched the ball today at the end of a pass. Out of the shotgun. Long's going to try to get the ball to Moritz. Here's intercepted by Lyday at the 22. First down, Nebraska. Iowa is blunted. Alan Lyday has had a good day on defense.
He's been a hitter. Mission of playing fine against the pass. Long sets, has plenty of time, but just underthrows the ball. The receiver was open. Moritz, Lyday was able to cut in front of him because the ball was underthrown.
The ball was almost underthrown for Lyday. Almost thrown behind him. They spotted the ball at the 24-yard line. 8:42 to go in the third quarter. Todd Brown to the right. Irving Fryer left. Wilkening is in at fullback. And there's Rozier. In trouble. Gets away. And out to the 28-yard line. A pickup of about 5. All down by Kevin Spitzik.
He is a remarkable ball carrier. That run didn't amount to much in the way of yardage, but from the standpoint of his skill, it gives you some idea of why Rozier has had the remarkable ability to average 6.2 yards every time he's touched the ball. And look how tough he is, low as that soldier.
He really ran into a bunch of folks and then peeled right out with a good cut to the right. Nate Mason calling signals on this set of downs. Mason with the football. Mason being pursued. Pitches the ball out to Rozier, who gets out to the 35. And that should be a first down. But now they're putting the ball back at the 34. Still maybe a first down.
This is the option play as executed by Nebraska. Mason with the ball. Turns up the field, then pops it off with one hand as he's about to be tackled. Rozier lowers that shoulder, picks up the first down. Or just short of the first down.
They're having some decisions of their own to see whether or not indeed it is. Now they're going to measure. First down. Well, Bud and I talked to some folks at halftime, and you can imagine what they were talking about. Nebraska looks like a good football team.
They look a little better than that to me. I think they're a great team, or have certainly the prospects to be. They don't seem to have any apparent weaknesses.
None demonstrated today, at least. And with Turner Gill back, and well, they got the man who can pull the trigger. It's Nate Mason's turn now, though, on first down from the 34-yard line. Wilkening carries the ball, breaks into the secondary. First down, the big fullback gets it on the action. First down in midfield.
And you simply can't execute a trap play any better than that. Remington blocking to the left, as you can see, takes his man. Mandelko comes across. And Wilkening knows how to lower that shoulder, too. All the Nebraska backs do.
Bobby Stoops again lowered his shoulder into him to make the stop. First down. 28-0, 7:10 to go, third quarter. Nebraska in control. Iowa did have a spurt at the beginning of the third quarter. Standing up, he knows it.
Tice is very upset with himself.
Randy Tice, the senior left tackle, stood up. And I bet he's really upset with himself. He is an academic All-American, and here he pulls the play of going ahead of the snap.
It's been a remarkably free game of errors on either side. We had the fumble that resulted in a touchdown right before the half, and then we've had one interception. Those have been the only turnovers. There have been very few penalties. Only 3, actually.
Brown wide to the left. On first down 15. Fryer, flank left. 5-man line for Iowa. Fryer in motion. Mason picks out to Rozier. Look out. He cuts inside of Stoops and then cut from behind. Lost the football, but I say that he was down. Fumble does not count. Nebraska's ball, first down inside the 40-yard line. At the 39.
Rozier has got remarkable acceleration. Mike Gill gets the top out to him quick. He cuts up inside, broken the block. He's turned back in by the Iowa defense, and he's on the ground. Then the ball comes loose, so it's called correctly by the officials.
Notice that Alabama really said, how do you do to Georgia Tech? It upset them last week. They beat them today 45-7. Alabama going to be challenging for the top spot. We'll have them on next week, remember, against Mississippi. Rozier takes the ball down to the 37, maybe the 36-yard line before Mark Bortz makes the tackle. Nebraska has already thrown the ball more today than I expected plans to, but in 2 or 3 games of the season.
Tom Osborne felt that he needed to throw the ball a little bit more, and planned to, and thrown effectively.
Swanson to the left, and Todd Brown comes out wide to the right. Brown has been in almostville today. Almost 2 touchdowns, almost a long gainer. Each time something went awry. There's Gill. Whoop. Nobody there to pick it up. Is picked up. Loss on the play. Ball went absolutely between the wingbacks, Swanson coming around, and the fullback Wilkening leading the blocking, and Swanson picked it up and was knocked down by Devin Mitchell. Lost back to the 47-yard line of Iowa.
Hill got a little bit ahead of himself. The option to the blocking back rather than to the trailing back, but he was forced to make a very quick pitch.
Far left. Simmons back in now to the right. Here is Nate Mason. Boy, does he have time, and throws to Fryer. First down inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. Bobby Stoops makes the stop, but too late.
Fryer was fairly well covered, but his pattern was so lateral across the field that the Iowa defenders were a little bit behind him. Mason made a fine throw. He was able to catch the ball before the defenders could close and get in front to knock it away.
Nate Mason, like the starter Turner Gill, also a junior. Both are out of Texas. Gill out of Fort Worth and Mason out of Greenville. That's Swanson in motion. Turner Gill pitches the ball to Swanson. Swanson inside the 20. Good run down near the 16. Should be a first down. If it's not, or just inches to go.
And the option has been very good for Nebraska. You can see the little counter fake there. Mason's got the ball. Is pressured. Pops it out to Swanson, who is the wingback trailing. Cuts back inside. Very good blocking and a beautiful cut. And another first down.
First down from the 17-yard line of Iowa. Craig and Wilkening in setbacks. Mason to Craig. Craig holding on to him for dear life was Mike Yaculo, a linebacker, junior out of Deerfield, Illinois, number 39. Takes the ball from the 17-yard line down to about the 12. Second down and 5. Clock continuing to run. Only 3:40 to go, third quarter now, and the Huskers have 4 touchdowns. Iowa none.
Strange thing to say, Jim, but I don't think this is a bad defensive football team. Iowa plays quite well. Nebraska's executing extremely well for this time of the year.
Mason, he's giving up the football, and it belongs to Iowa, I believe. Looked like Yakulo got on the ball, number 39. And let's see who that is, whether it's 39 or 38. It is 39, Yakulo. And there's a turnover for Nebraska.
And Tom Osborne's explaining to Mason why he did not handle that ball well enough. He made the inside fake. He's pressured. He tried to deliver the ball just as he was hit. The good hit that time by Joseph knocked the ball away as he was in the act of making the pitch.
Remember, he threw one away coming the other way, but Swanson picked it up. Tom Grogan is going to try his hand for Iowa now at quarterback, number 13, a junior, out of Kansas City. And going nowhere, Toby Williams has Norm Granger, a loss on the play. Toby Williams, a senior out of Washington, D.C. His older brother graduated, had an outstanding career also here on defense for Nebraska. There's Yakulo. And I want to tell you, I know that he got dumped on after he recovered that ball, but it is hot. 84 at kickoff time. Humidity about 70%. Second down. Grogan, the blitz is on. Felici, the end, got in there. That was not a blitz, even though they do drop off on defense. Felici just came and nobody picked him up.
It's a little tough on the quarterback. Grogan dropping back, and here comes Felici from the left side of the screen. Grogan felt him and saw him, but it was way too late.
O'Brien is coming in. And Marty Ball, a fullback, is coming in. And for the first time, we see the power eye. And going straight ahead is Owen Gill, who also came into that backfield, as Hayden Fry now gets some more of his players in action. Very fast ball game because there have been very few mistakes.
And we'll be looking at a punt return setup here. Certainly, Roby is going to boom the ball downfield. Nebraska has 2 men back, and they will have time because he outfixed the coverage to organize a return.
And remember, the wind is at his back, and remember the deep man is Fryer, who already has a lot of points going for him for the Vitalis MVP. He's also had a 14-yard punt return. Roby, oh, high. This is Fryer back at the 25-yard line. The 24 drops the football, picks it up, and has a wall on the other side. He stepped out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Storm Joseph nailed him, but he stepped out of bounds at the 37. First down, Nebraska, 1:07 to go, third quarter. They are in control, 28-0. We'll have all fall long is Saturday night at the fights. And this Saturday night at the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California, a junior lightweight bout. Bazooka Limon of Mexico City and Chung-Il Choi of Korea. And Sal Marciano and Al Bernstein will be there. Play is in, and still carrying the football is Mike Rozier, and you can see that Corbin has him. Let me give you some times for that Saturday night fight because it will be live 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific time. Second down and 12 from a 35. And one of the Iowa men is limping, and I do believe it is Kevin Spitzig. Herb is already out of there, and now Spitzig, the other starting linebacker, is coming out. So time is out on the field. We'll come back to Lincoln, Nebraska in a moment with 48 seconds to go. Third quarter, Nebraska 28, Iowa nothing. Watch quickly these games on ESPN next weekend. Michigan at Notre Dame. Alabama, big winner today over Georgia Tech at Mississippi. At Arizona State at Houston. Second down and 12, and Turner Gill has returned to quarterback, Nebraska. Tom Osborne hasn't seen any scores here. Craig in the fullback spot picks up a couple of yards. It'll be third down and 10. as time is running out in the third quarter. Nebraska looked absolutely picture perfect in the first half. Nebraska has not looked bad at all in the third quarter, but has failed to score. Ulenegg made the stop of Craig, who now goes out of the ball game. And now, for the first time, Jeff Smith comes in as an offensive player, with Wokening, the fullback, in front of him. Swanson right. Oh, down goes Turner Gill. And that looked like Kevin Spitzig, who was hurt moments ago, back in the ball game, and he just blew through there and took Turner Gill.
And Turner Gill a little bit late getting up, limping just a little on his ankle. And he, I think, perfectly all right, however.
Well, let's make the right call, though. That's Larry Station, the freshman, number 36. And he's from Omaha, Nebraska, doing that to a Nebraska player. How about that as the third quarter ends? And all of the scoring was in the first half. Score remains the same. Nebraska 28 and Iowa nothing. Back to Lincoln after this. Quarter, and at last look, Turner Gill was still down on the sidelines across the way. Remember, they lost him at the end of last season with that lower right leg nerve damage. This time he took a hit high from Larry Station. Maybe just had the breath knocked out of him, but he was down on the far sideline.
Station did an awfully good job of shooting the gap. Third and long, they had the blitz called. He came through untouched, hit Gill from the blind side.
1 quarter left. And Grant Campbell in to kick the ball away. Now, number 12 is Turner Gill. We can see Mason over there.
Grant Campbell in kick formation.
And we see Gill, and we see Rozier, and they're working on Rozier around the ankle. Or a leg, at least. He's on the bench. Hope this is not too costly for Nebraska. Campbell gets the ball away. Morris watches it go by him. Has to pick it up on a 7 or 8, and I will see you later. He's in trouble. Let the ball dance right by him. And Shane Swanson knocked him out of bounds.
It's one of the worst things you can do as a safety man is not catch the ball when it's in the air, and you should be able to make the catch. Never let it hit the ground.
So a net on that kick of 57 yards. That's the net yards gain. Tom Grogan remains the quarterback for Iowa as they spot the ball just over the 10-yard line. Brohammer comes wide to the right. Moritz to the left. Buggs is the fullback. Hayden Fry going with other backs.
Tight end in an erect position that time. I couldn't quite figure that out. Didn't get his job done very well either.
Owen Gill gets across the line of scrimmage, but not much more. So it is Gill, Buggs, Grogan. And a flag is down. And Iowa is walking back toward the end zone. Early in the fourth quarter, over 76,000, the usual Nebraska sellout.
In the fourth period, BYU 17, Georgia 14. First quarter score, California 21, Colorado 7.
Holding or illegal use of hands charged against Iowa. Olenzak has now come in for the first time as a wide receiver for Iowa. He carries the number 88, and he's coming out to the right. Grogan and Iowa backed up. First down, 17 to go. Ball is handed off to Buggs, the fullback, and he gets out to the 6-yard line. And now another flag goes down in that pile. The Iowa group that is walking backwards again. Lauren Gerlman is coming into the lineup now, and Levelis is coming out at left guard for Iowa, and the Hawkeyes are penalized again.
Personal foul.
See if we can see what happened.
Out. Yep, and the little fight's going on there. It's number 66, Rick, for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and he got a little over-enthused.
Is that what you call it?
Kindest thing you can call it.
Second down, 14 to go, fourth quarter, 28-0 Nebraska. Iowa backed up. Power I by. Owen Gill gets a yard or two, and that's all.
The Nebraska defense is very well organized. Each man takes care of his lane very nicely. It's Knox coming across. Evans does a fine job at linebacker, but the entire defensive unit is so well coordinated that they have pursuit in a pattern and leave very few gaps for the ball carrier to find daylight.
Dave Burke, the deep man, number 33, as Reggie Roby, the All-American punter, deep in his end zone, punting against a pretty good stiff wind. Just does get it away, and really gets it away. Burke back to the 34-yard line and falls down across the 35. And for that reason this time, Roby's going to get a great net gain, as Burke simply could not get up. It is a flag down in the end zone, a 54-yard gain, but they may get the ball back because there's a flag in the end zone. They almost blocked that kick, and when they did not, they knocked Roby down. And so I believe Iowa will get the football.
It's the one penalty that is very easy to call. If the ball is not hit and the kicker is touched, the penalty will be called.
The line of scrimmage was at the 8-yard line. And they're walking now out past the 20 to the 23 for the 15-yard penalty.
And I believe that's going to give them the first down.
Automatic first down. There's Roby.
You can watch that beautiful kicking form here. There's the ball away. And those were both Nebraska men, so they were not blocked into the kicker. Since they did hit him and that did not touch the ball, the penalty isn't properly called.
Strasburger blocked Piner into him. And Grogan picks this one up almost off the ground, and there's a flip, and the catch is good to Owen Gill, and Gill is near a first down. Owen Gill, a sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York, gets out near the 33-yard line, where Brent Evans made the tackle. Evans was a starter last year.
The Iowa team felt that their offense would be superior to their defense, but I think, again, it's a credit to the Nebraska defense that the offense has not been able to generate any consistency except for one drive at the start of the second half.
Second down, a yard to go. Here's Grogan. He's got a man out there and off the hands of Brohammer. Brohammer, with no one near him, 4 or 5 yards away. Burke was the nearest man to him, along with Brett Clark. And the ball is off the hands of Bill Brohammer. And it's third down and a yard to go. As Ball checks back in, we could see the power eye again. They've been using Ball, Bugs, and Gill in the power eye. 2 tight ends.
And they're thinking, we've got to make the first down. I don't think they're thinking of a big play, just enough to get the yardage.
Look at this eye. This is the old time eye. And Owen Gill gets away from one man and gets away from another, and down he goes with the man nearest to him, Steve McWhorter, and Tim Holbrook bringing up the rear. First down, Iowa, as Owen Gill breaks away. He's a big man, 6'2", 212.
Beautiful job of ball carrying. There's something you rarely see, the old-fashioned total eye formation, all 4 backs lined up one behind the other, but this is just marvelous ball carrying. The tacklers are just bouncing off him because Gill refuses to go down. Finally does lose his feet after a very fine run.
Ball on the 39-yard line. Mortz comes wide to the right. Olenzak is to the left. Phillips is back in as a flanker out of the shotgun. Here's Grogan being pursued. Gets the ball. Well, it is caught. Caught on a fine play by Hufford. And he actually picked up about 4 yards on the play. Piner made the stop.
Looked like he was throwing for just daylight to get rid of the ball. I had no thought that he could complete the pass. Grogan is truly pressured here. He moves to the outside. And as he has really put the heat on by Preener, he hits the ball loose, and the reception is made. A very fine play. Huford making the catch.
I said Priner made the stop. He made the stop of Grogan and really made a stop, but Tom got the ball away. And here's Phillips. Nice little cut, gets inside the 30-yard line and very close to a first down. Mike Knox in on the tackle along with Tim Holbrook.
And I think we should point out that this is the second defensive unit for the University of Nebraska. Their starters played magnificently while they were in the game.
Jeff Merrill comes back in a nose guard. Rob Stuckey is in there and one tackle. Jim Murphy, Chris Van Norman has come in. Dave Burke is in the backfield. Third down, short yardage to go. Eddie Phillips gets away, bounces away, runs into his own man, and finally goes down after picking up the first down inside the 25-yard line. Kreiner back there along with Dave Burke and Tim Holbrook. Olenzak coming in.
Once again, we get a great job of running by an Iowa back. It was Gill before. This time it's Phillips. Has excellent balance, twists well, runs into his own man, but then is tackled very cleanly, but not before he'd picked up the first down.
First down at the 23-yard line. 10.5 minutes left to go in the ball game. Low snap from center. Grogan's got it. Grogan has a flag down. That could be holding. Grogan running the ball, and down he goes. Fine play made by Van Norman, but a flag down while he was looking to throw, and that should indicate holding. That's what the call is. 28-0 Nebraska here in the fourth quarter. Nebraska next week, I think we've already told you this, gets New Mexico State here. I wonder what their scouts will go back and say.
When you take a look in the left-hand corner of the screen, you can see number 79, that's Miller of Iowa, and he is doing a little bit of holding, even though he got some help from Reich on the play.
Not yet moved the ball. Now Dan Kroger has come back into the ball game. Felici has come back into the ball game.
He don't want anybody to cross that goal line.
That's right. Takes the ball out to the 33-yard line for holding.
Holding, 10-yard penalty on the offense. First down.
First down and
First down at 20.
20 to go.
33.
Well, the Nebraska crowd, the 76,000 plus the sellout, a little quiet here in the third and fourth quarters because their team ran out to 28-0 lead and has not put the ball in the end zone since. After that first half, Grogan gets the ball, and Owen Gill cannot hold on to it. Kreiner was with him. And Wade Kreiner Jr. out of Battle Creek has done an outstanding job today as a defensive left end.
It's a very unusually designed little screen pass off the running pass.
Tom Grogan is the quarterback.
Kreiner was the only man who read it well. Had he not been there, could have been a big play for Iowa.
We will give you the Vitalis MVP before this game is over, and unless something happens, I've already got locked in. I have had since about the second quarter.
Well,
I'll have a discussion with
two people.
Okay, I'll have a discussion with you. Second down, 20 to go. Gill and Granger, the setbacks. Long call. Grogan, look out. Flings it out here to Owen Gill. Cannot hold on to it. Pursues it to knock it out of bounds just in case it was a backward pass.
A lot of pressure put on quarterback once more.
Third down and 20 to go. Iowa, Big Ten champion, does not open its defense of that Big Ten championship until the fourth game of the season, and then they're into it. They get Northwestern, followed by Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, Purdue, Wisconsin, Michigan State. But between now and then, they've got Iowa State and Arizona.
Wichita State 6.
Olenzak wide to the right. Hufford split out to the right. Here's Grogan looking downfield, throwing for his man Hufford, the tight end. First down, goal to go inside the 10-yard line. No flags down. Brett Clark makes the stop, along with Van Norman.
And Grogan gets more impressive at quarterback. He didn't get in the game until the latter part of the third quarter, but he's had good poise, good movement. He's hit 2 of 5, as you can see, but directed the team well.
Kelly O'Brien comes in. Olenzak goes out. They've got 2 tight ends in there. First down, goal to go from the 9-yard line. Granger sets up flanker left. Ball is the fullback. Phillips the tailback. Now the full total I again. Whoops, left guard goes. Left guard goes. First down and 14 from the 14-yard line.
Time you need your poise when you've got the scoring opportunity, but they haven't been down there very much and just didn't quite maintain good concentration. There's the I formation, all three backs in the line, and you can see the movement by the offensive left guard.
Now Jeff Merrill comes out. Mike Cranmer is in as the middle guard. The total I again. Last man is Eddie Phillips. And Phillips gets down where Dan Kroger's got him at the 9-yard line. Second down and goal to go from the 9. The Dan Kroger family have had their days here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and playing for the Nebraska team. Ed Mortz is coming back in. Clock continues to run. 8:55 to go in this 28-0 ball game, led by Nebraska. All scoring in the first half.
And I was very anxious to score a touchdown here if they could. I could say, well, we're 7 points ahead in this half. It would be a great deal for their confidence.
Still two tight ends, only one wide receiver. He's in motion. Grogan pitches back to Phillips. Got a block on that side. Gets inside the 5. Dave Burke, number 33, tripped him up. It'll be third down and goal to go from about the 3-yard line.
The option play, well executed by Grogan. Starts down the line after taking a little step back. He is forced into the tackle. He makes a good pitch. Phillips turns the corner, almost got it into the end zone. Third down and 4 for a touchdown.
Now, if I'm correct, Bud, they don't have a wide receiver at all. They've got 3 big backs in there, 2 tight ends on third down and 3 in the total line. And here comes Grogan. He's going to carry the football. Touchdown! Iowa gets on the board with 7:53 to go, fourth quarter.
I believe that Nebraska felt they were going to run something inside from the I formation with all the big backs in. Grogan simply rolls out after making one fake quickly to Phillips, finds everybody caught inside, puts the ball away, gets close to the goal line, and slides across the goal line. He did not slide across. He ducked his way underneath everyone to score.
Grogan holds the ball, and Tom Nickel puts it through. And now it is not 28-0. It is Nebraska 28 and Iowa 7. They're on the board. Bud Wilkinson, Lincoln, Nebraska, 28-7. Reggie Roby to kick the ball off. Into the wind, high. Jeff Smith looking for it at the, well, he goes back to the 5 to 4-yard line. Across the 10, out to the 20, shows some speed and rolls out across the 30. Fine return of about 27 yards. First down 10, Nebraska. They've just been scored on for the first time in 1982 in the regular season.
This was the 14th play of a great drive. Iowa had come 89 yards. Grogan makes an inside fake, rolls out. He had an option to pass run. Everybody was open and he was inside, and he ducked his shoulder underneath the Nebraska defenders to score 6 points for Iowa.
And Turner Gill and the first string company are back in. That is Fryer in motion. Gill pitching to Rozier. And Rozier picks up some yardage and out to the 34-yard line, where he's muscled down over there this time by Kevin Spitzig, number 38. There's your scoring drive. 14 plays. They had to grind it out. 89 yards, and it took them nearly 7 minutes off that clock, which now shows 7 minutes and 26 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah.
Aiden Fry's ball club has played much better second half.
It all began with the roughing the kicker penalty also.
They also had a long drive stymied by an interception early in the third quarter. First man through is Wilkening, the fullback, and he is wrestled down shy of the first down. At the 38-yard line, it'll be third down and about 2.5 to go. Hawley there, Corbin getting up.
Third down.
Some clouds in the sky now, but the sun remains out over the stadium here in Lincoln. And I got a hunch the sun is going to shine a lot on the Nebraska football season in 1982.
Barring injuries, this is a very good football team.
Ricky Simmons, very wide left. Quick pitch back to Rozier. Gets the opening. Wilkin throws a block. Steps inside. And downfield ready to throw a block. Steps inside again and trips over his own man. Over his own man. Mitch Crank had just thrown a block, number 89, and Rozier rolled over Crank and is stopped there.
Stoops makes a good play, though, to be back in there. Craig has got that breakaway speed. Wilkening is the fullback. See him leading downfield, making the key block as Craig cuts back inside of Wilkening, or Rozier, rather. And Rozier is down the sideline. Stoops comes across. It appears that he's going to go for the touchdown. And Stoops was knocked down. And then own man, Mitch was the man who rolled in front of him when it appeared that Rozier had the touchdown for sure.
From the 9-yard line, first down. Fire in motion. Turner Gill, look out, Scott. Boom! Gets his touchdown at last. Out of the end zone in the first half. Underthrown in the first half at the 1-yard line. Todd Brown gets his touchdown. And boy, didn't the Big Red get that ball back in a hurry. A return to the 31, and Turner Gill handed the ball to Rozier one time, threw it to Todd Brown another. Touchdown, Nebraska.
It would appear that be careful and don't get them excited and motivated.
Second touchdown pass for Turner Gill. Took him just about a minute and 40 seconds to get that touchdown back as Kevin Seipel adds the extra point, and Todd Brown had his moment in the Lincoln Sun.
There's a little inside fake, just a one-step drop by Turner Gill. The defender on the corner was looking inside at Gill. He let Brown get outside him on the fly pattern, and he was wide open in the end zone to make the touchdown.
Well, Bud, I was thinking of one man. You said you had two for the Vitalis MVP. I think I'm thinking of your other man after that play. Back after this.
Possible.
Again, with 6 minutes and 6 seconds left to go. Impressive, 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 the Big Red of Nebraska. And with the win, this ball is driven through the end zone, and Iowa will have the football, 1st and 10 on its own 20. Iowa may have decided something, and if they haven't decided it, Bud, certainly Tom Grogan will get a long look in practice this week. He's the one that moved the ball club in for the only touchdown, carried it in himself.
He's physically a very impressively built man, 190 pound, 6'3", and he's a junior, which means he's had a lot of experience, even though he hasn't had much game time.
First down from the 20-yard line. Campbell comes wide to the right. Split backfield this time. Hayden Fry has shown us a lot today. Different sets, including the total eye, and maybe Grogan simply took too long.
He did, and he knows it.
Oh, it is first down and 15 from the 15-yard line. Delay a game.
Nebraska is dropping one of their tackles behind the line of scrimmage defensively about a yard. Reminds you of the Dallas flex defense. He has a lot more ability to move laterally because you can't get him quite as quickly as we look at the scoring drive.
And it only took him a minute and 41 seconds.
First down at 15. Ball was on the 15-yard line.
Again, the split backs, Phillips and Granger. Grogan makes the handoff, has the time, delivers a football, and Hufford today is having a great day. The tight end has really done a job. He has not dropped one, and they have not all been right on the money. Hufford has made some great grabs. That's a first down out to the 34-yard line.
And we're getting some changes defensively. Grogan has a lot of time here. There's a little bit of a draw fake, as you can see, to Granger. He finds Hufford coming across the middle. He had to reach back to get the ball. McWhirter making the tackle.
Grogan back again. Has the time, dumps it out and over the head of Eddie Phillips. Second down. 5:38 left in this 35-7 ball game. You know, Nebraska did not come back with all its Orange Bowl team. They only had 12 returning starters, and that's the lowest group of returning starters in all of the Big Eight. So it shows you the depth and the talent of Nebraska.
Talked about Grogan's athletic ability, Jim. He's a second-string basketball player for the University of Iowa, which again attests to his skill.
Grogan back. And overthrows Phillips again. I remember a conversation 1 week ago with Joe Paterno of Penn State, and he talked about you don't always get your good football players out of the good high school football program. Sometimes watch them play basketball, and you can come up with some outstanding prospects.
Hand-eye coordination and speed.
35-7, 3rd down and 4 to go. You know that Nebraska will just ball control us to death unless Iowa can pick up a first down here. Grogan's going to try. Grogan throws it to Phillips, and he can't hold on to it. 3 passes, 2 of them over the head of Phillips, 1 of them thrown behind him.
Just as we thought he had a hot hand, he kind of cooled off.
He sure did. Roby will have to kick the ball away again. Now remember, when we give you net yardage, we're giving you how much yard they actually gained. The punting statistics, which have Reggie Roby at nearly 50 yards for last year, is almost right on the money for that today. He's kicked the ball a long way. And right now, the line of scrimmage is the 34. And the deep safety man is standing almost back on his own 10. And here's Fryer back at the 14. Trying to find that wall. Now cuts back. Can't find the wall. And down he goes at the 20. First down and 20. 5:15 to go. We'll have the Vitalis MVP. And I'm going to agree with Bud Wilkinson. I've got it down to 1 player. When we come back. New quarterback for Nebraska, number 15. Pitch back to Jeff Smith. Smith gets away from one man, away from another. Hawley chases him down the sidelines. Corbin is there, cuts back. He will not be caught now. See you later, Jeff Smith. 80 yards, touchdown. Outstanding blocking and good broken field running.
Basic toss play. Well executed, well blocked, and particularly well run by Smith.
Out of Wichita, Kansas, a sophomore, 5'11". He's big, though, 193 pounds, and you can see he can fly. It's 41-7 with Seibel on to do his thing again. Seibel adds the extra point. Nebraska 42, Iowa 7, and the last 7 points for Nebraska came in a hurry in the person of Jeff Smith.
This is the play you begin teaching from the I formation, simply the off-tackle sweep. One missed tackle that time, which was very, very costly by Sullivan. Smith's out along the sidelines, cuts back, gets a beautiful block as he did cut back, right there, out to your screen, and now it's just clear sailing, 80 yards for the touchdown.
Well, the Vitalis MVP is not Jeff Smith. It's the man right there. Number 12, Turner Gill. A couple of touchdown passes today. He has been the trigger in an outstanding Nebraska offense, and if he stays healthy, you're going to hear about the Big Red all year long, and even into New Year's Day.
When he was shaken up a little bit in the 3rd quarter, I was concerned about it, but certainly was not injured at all, coming back to play as well as he has here in the 4th quarter.
So Turner Gill. Jeff Smith, he's a sophomore. That's the first time he has scored a touchdown, and he scored it on the first time he carried the ball from the line of scrimmage for Nebraska.
That's
he can only go downhill from there, can't he?
The thrill and a lifetime memory.
And now Seibel's kickoff drives Bugs deep in the end zone and the 20-yard line again.
First and 10 on the 20-yard line.
Well, Nebraska didn't have a chance to ball control them to death, as I suggested. They went 80 yards in one play, and so Iowa gets the ball back.
You suggested they were going to keep it on the ground, and you were absolutely right.
Chuck Long is the quarterback once again. He was the starter for Iowa, and he's back in there, number 16. After those 3 passes thrown by Grogan, after a little bit of praise for Tom Grogan, Long gets a shot.
Took him 15 seconds to go the 80 yards. He had to cut back a little, Jim.
Bugs and Gill, the setbacks. Fake to Bugs. Long in trouble. Down he goes. And the man that put him down is Jim Scow, a sophomore out of Omaha, number 96.
He comes through without anybody touching him. Long tried to evade him, but simply couldn't.
Jim Scow is one of those fellows, Bud, that they do in all press boxes, hand out an add to roster. They said that they add to the Nebraska roster number 96, Jim Scow, and he's the one that made that play.
Made a beautiful play. There's the draw.
And that's Owen Gill. Gill has great ability to bounce off people and keep on going. He did that on a longer run earlier. This time, Eric Buchanan, another sophomore defensive end, made the stop. Number 82. And does that surprise you a little bit as you take a look at the scoring drive? 80 yards, one play. Does that surprise you that Iowa has run the ball twice now and has run more than a minute off the clock? 42-7. And it's third down and about 4 to go, and here Long's going to throw if he can. Cannot. 20. And knocked out of bounds, I believe, shy of the first down. At the 24.5-yard line. I should say the 29.5-yard line. Correction, 24.5-yard line.
Being forced out of bounds by number 33, Dave Burke.
And that's going to be well shy. Fourth down.
And we get one more look at the leading kicker in the nation last year, Roby.
You keep looking down schedules because Nebraska is so impressive. You know that Iowa has to enter all that Big Ten. That's their schedule. You know Nebraska's got Oklahoma down the line. But you look and you see Penn State coming up in a couple of weeks, and Auburn, which will not be easy. Oklahoma, great chance for Penn State, and Roby booms another one. Back it goes. Lydell has it bounced right into the hands of Jeff Smith, and Smith gets out to the 38-yard line.
Well, he was just one step from breaking another big one.
37-yard net.
Almost looks like two interfielders going for the ball here. As we get Smith coming across with Lydell, and he finally got the ball. He breaks it to the outside. If he could just shake off that last tackler, he had a clear field ahead of him.
Mark Shalene is the fullback, Jeff Smith the tailback, and Craig Sundberg remains your quarterback. Sundberg throws it out to Smith again. This time it's not nearly as spectacular, but still a fine run for Smith as he picks up 7 yards across the 45-yard line. Clock running. 42-7 is the score. 3:14 left in the game. Mike Kikula made the stop. Iowa's got to stop and regroup and go home and play their state rival, Iowa State, next Saturday. Sundberg lost the football, and it belongs to Iowa. Turned away from the center without the ball at all. And that looks like Kikula has recovered his second fumble of the day.
Just very bad ball handling. Never got the handle on the ball from the center. As you can see, it just got out of his hands as he turned to try to give it to the fullback hitting in. And there are more white shirts closing on it than red shirts as they drive off the ball on their blocking pattern.
Ball is at the 43.5-yard line. First down, 2:52 to go. And the 43.5-yard line, that is, of Nebraska. One of the few times that Iowa has been presented with outstanding field position.
It's the first time since the opening kickoff return to the 49-yard line of Nebraska.
Cornelius Robertson is now the quarterback, and he looks at the defense, and on his first play, he can't get a play off. He calls time.
Well, there's obviously a mix-up in the running backs, and where should they be lined up? And Hayden Fry said, how in the world can they do that?
And now yet another new man comes in to the Nebraska backfield, and that is Mike McCashlin. First time we have seen him today. He actually puts his nose right on the ball. And now Robertson has gotten the news and is coming back out. Next week, Bud and I will be Arizona State at Houston. Other games, remember, Alabama and Mississippi, and Michigan and Notre Dame here on ESPN.
Tom Osborne must be very well pleased with the play of the Cornhuskers today. Their kicking game has been excellent. Their offense has been good, and in the first half, it was as fine a defensive team as I've seen play.
How can you be, and I'm not saying you are, but how can anyone be critical of any phase of the Nebraska offense or defense today?
I don't know how you can. They've just been on top of everything. They've been great individual efforts, but come together so well as a team that it's been a marvelous team effort.
Ball blew away from the 44-yard line. The umpire steps in and puts it back where it's supposed to be. Whoops, ball is high in the air, flags go down, and Iowa's having trouble.
The snap from center on the shotgun has not been delivered with great speed or accuracy.
That might change Hayden Fry's philosophy a little bit. We were talking on our college football preview show about the shotgun, and it was Bud's contention, and he says not everyone agrees naturally because the shotgun is used a lot, that when you're in the T, the good quarterbacks, by the time you take your second step back, whether it's a 3, 5, or 7 set drop, knows the defense. When you're in a shotgun, you got to see where that ball's going, as is demonstrated today by the Iowa snaps, and then you take a look at the defense. Here is Robertson running the ball straight up the middle, and is knocked down hard by Mike Knox, number 44, after getting back near the original line of scrimmage.
That was the quarterback trap play. It was a fake pass, but he was not scrambling.
2.5 minutes to go exactly. 42-7. A hot, humid afternoon. All the more so for Iowa, which did have one 89-yard drive, started by a roughing the kicker penalty. The rest of the story has been Nebraska. Shotgun again. Robertson throws the ball, and making the catch along the sidelines looks like it is number 88, Olenzak, the junior. And it is still shy of the first down. They will spot the ball at the 37-yard line.
Reasonably good execution, the running pass, wide receiver on the down and out break.
Bill Happel comes in for the first time. His father was an All-American at Iowa, and his father now is on the coaching staff at Minnesota. He is a freshman. He wears the number 40. He is a wide receiver and will keep his eyes coming out to the right side. Bill Happel. 3rd down and 4 to go. Grogan, and being pursued, and look out, down he goes. Does not get the first down, does not get back. I said Grogan, it's Robertson, does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Graber made the stop along with Jim Scow.
And great pressure by Knox.
Knox was flying, wasn't he? Number 44, you saw him fly across the line of scrimmage. Clock continues to run. Roger Craig today got 58 yards, but remember, they used him differently than they ever have before, as a fullback as well as an I-back. Rozier in the same backfield with him. When one or the other was not there, it was Wilkening. That's the way they started. And as time went on, the score mounted, they changed some things. 50 seconds to go. 4th down. They're going to go on 4th down. And here's Robertson pitching the ball back to Owen Gill, looking for the first down, and Gill is going to be run out of bounds, and I think he's got the first down at the 30-yard line, stopping the clock. Dave Burke ran him out of bounds. Number 33 Burke ran number 33 Gill out of bounds.
First and 10 for Iowa on the Nebraska.
Band is beginning to form on the far side of the field. They know they got less than a minute to go. And this enthusiastic sellout crowd, the 119th consecutive NCAA record, better than 76,000, 119 times. A lot of the folks figure the Big Red have done it. Here is Robertson out to throw, and throws off the hand of the intended receiver, J.C. Lovejordan.
Had him open and could have run with the ball, but a little bit too hard to throw, too wide, too long. I've been surprised, Jim, at how well the crowd has stayed with the issue long ago settled.
Well, it is the first game, and they just simply cannot get enough of the Big Red in Nebraska. Campbell is in as a wide receiver. Lovejordan out. Robertson, remember, is the 3rd quarterback used today. Nebraska also used 3, but for other reasons. Ball one set back, Gill the other. Here is Robertson back to throw. Throws for the end zone and for Happel, and it's no good. No good. Back there with him was Pat Larson.
And one of the TV cameramen almost got run over.
42-7 the score. We've given you the Vitalis MVP, Turner Gill, the quarterback, who had an outstanding afternoon. Couple of touchdown passes, ran the option play very well. Happel coming out now. Campbell coming out. Olenzak is in. Love Jordan is in as wide receiver. And that is Owen Gill running the ball. And unless they call timeout, and timeout is being called, that's about their last play. Timeout call with 23 seconds to go. Mike Knox made the stop, along with Mark Dahm.
I think they'd like to see if they can pick up the first down here and maybe move it in. Iowa has kept trying, even though they have not been in the game for a while. And I honestly believe that by midseason, this will be a quite capable Iowa football team.
I'm not asking you who's going to win in a couple of weeks, but I'll ask you this question. We saw Penn State last week look very, very impressive against Temple. Now, 1 week later, we see Nebraska looking very, very impressive. Differences in the team for any obvious places, because they've got a Kurt Warner, they have a Rozier and Craig here. They've got a Todd Blackledge, who may not be as mobile, of course, but bigger than Turner Gill at quarterback.
Well, I have to feel, Jim, that Nebraska's a better defensive football team than Penn State, at least on the basis of the way Penn State played last week against Temple. Whether that'll be true when they play against each other remains to be seen.
Well, those who watch ESPN will see it. Hayden Fry, his staff, including George Wine, the publicity director of Iowa, Tom Osborne, his staff, including Don Bryant, the Gray Fox of Nebraska. We thank you all for your cooperation with us in bringing you this game. And we move on to another game next week, and so does Iowa against Iowa State, and so does Nebraska against New Mexico State. 4th down. Robertson, all the time in the world, throws, and was it caught by Olenzak? They say no. No. Nebraska gets the ball with 17 seconds to go, and a big lead of 42-7. Nebraska, like Oklahoma, lots of red in the stands, and when they play each other, as they do once a year, that is a sight to see, no matter where it is, because everybody wears red.
And everybody says, go Big Red.
That's right. 42-7. A lot of folks recognize Bud walking in today, and as someone said, isn't it good they don't hold a grudge? The old Oklahoma coach walking into the Nebraska Stadium. Bruce Matheson, the quarterback now for this brief series here, throwing it back to Tim Brugart. 11 seconds to go. That may be it. No one apparently going to call timeout. 7-6. Great day for the Big Red of Nebraska. Starting off in their defense of their Big 8 championship, playing a Big 10 team that knocked them off last week. Revenge is theirs. Losers last year to Iowa 10-7. Winners this year. Final score: Nebraska 42 and Iowa 7. Tom Osborne coming across to his counterpart, Hayden Fry, the coach of the year last year. They shake hands. They got a long season ahead of them, but Tom Osborne walks off feeling pretty good, I'm sure. Leaving the field, each to renew this 1982 schedule, which is now just 1 game old. Nebraska is 1-0. Iowa is 0-1. It has not been a conference game. It has not been an exciting game unless, Bud, you are a Nebraska fan to see those great runs of Jeff Smith and, of course, the great run with the pass by Irvin Fryer and the great job done by our Vitalis MVP, Turner Gill.
Well, Nebraska played a marvelous first half. They scored on their first possession when they went 80 yards in 13 plays. They were stopped on their second possession, but then scored on the next 2 possessions. So they were totally dominant, and I think one of the more significant figures of the game is at the end of the first half, the total yards made by the University of Iowa was just 1 yard. That means you're playing great defensive football. But again, this is a green Iowa team that I really believe will improve very rapidly. I believe they'll have a reasonably good season.
And on the other hand, at the end of that first half, as Iowa had 1 yard, Nebraska had 250. Wokening scored the first touchdown on a 4-yard drive. Irving Fryer went 41 yards with a Turner Gill pass. At the end of the first quarter, it was 14-0. At the end of the half, it was 28-0. And you know the final score. Nebraska 42, vengeance over Iowa, the Hawkeyes 7. I'm Jim Simpson with Bud Wilkinson. Remember, 3 games next week here on ESPN. And Bud and I will be down in Houston for Arizona State at Houston. In the meantime, join us on the College Football Preview Friday night on ESPN.
State is